Welcome to Direct Talk, interviews with leaders, visionaries, and pioneers who are shaping Asia and the rest of the world. Today's guest is Trịnh Khánh Hạ. She is the general manager of the robotic prosthetic arms company in Vietnam. She's developed a very unique prosthetic arm from which the wrist can be removed and changed. In Vietnam, over 70% of disabled people are currently unemployed. We will take a close look at Ha's energetic attempt to help disabled people return to work through the use of prosthetic arms.
Of course, there's a lot of time that the user got excited about the product. When he put on his arm, he's like, look at me, and he walk around the room and just try to grab everything that he see in front of him, and then he look really happy, really happy.
Trịnh Khánh Hạ leads a team of engineers and designers as the general manager of a robotic prosthetic arm company based in Vietnam.
Make a little sticky thing to put into the sensor box.
This is a robotic prosthetic arm which her team has developed. The uniqueness of it is that the modules can be changed depending on different uses. This prosthetic arm can be specialized for waiters by replacing the daily use module with a waiter module.
So we interview a lot of users, and we realize that different users have different need and expectation when it comes to functionality of the hand. Well, we cannot fulfill all the functions within one hand. So we're thinking, well, why not trying to make a hand that has different module?
The cover of this prosthetic arm can be made instantly with a 3D printer. The prosthetic arms are made by 4 Vietnamese engineers. From creating the components and attaching them to making it into an arm, the work is all done in this studio. Even this 3D printer was built by the engineers. In addition, this prosthetic arm is controlled by a sensor placed inside the shoe insole, which was also developed by the engineers.
I would say that almost 100% of functional robotic arms in Vietnam are imported, mostly from Taiwan, China, US, or German. And because it's imported, when it reaches users in Vietnam or developing countries, it's already at least 2 or 3 times higher than when it's in their local market. So at the moment, for just a very basic functional hand here, people have to pay at least 2,000 to get one. But we making it in a different way. We make it modular, so we produce the finger, mass manufacture the fingers, mass manufacture the hand, and we standardize the size. So there is small, medium, and large size, so that the cost will be low down by being able to mass manufacture.
Ha grew up in the province of Phu Yên, located in south-central Vietnam. For university, she chose to study business in London. Ha says the difference she felt in London compared to Vietnam had a great impact on the work she is doing today.
Going to study abroad actually changed my perspective on how I see the difference between a developing country and a developed country. So when I came to London, I realized that the support system for people with disability are so great. You have, parking for disabled everywhere. You have a restroom for them. You have a lot of support for them. And that's why when I came back to Vietnam, I acknowledge that it's a real problem, that this is in Vietnam and there's no such support for amputees.
Ha's father served in the army. His way of living has played a big part in her life.
I was raised in a family where, my dad served the army for over 30 years. And back then he was a single dad, so just me and him. And I remember a lot of times when there is some natural disaster, my dad has to leave home, just leaving me alone home to go and save other people in, flooded areas or in typhoon area. I learned his mindset of, you need to serve the community first. Whatever happened is, you need to put the community, the greater, society first, above yourself, sometimes even above your family.
After returning to Vietnam, Ha began thinking of working in the field of social welfare. During the same time, she met Raphael Masters from England and Akshay Sharma from India, who shared a similar passion. Together, they started the robotic prosthetic arm company. According to Vietnam's Statistics Bureau, nearly 6.2 million people are living with disabilities in Vietnam, accounting for 7% of the total population. Approximately 70% of those 6.2 million are unable to find a job.
I think compared to other countries, Vietnam have quite a high ratio of amputations in the society. There's a few reasons. The first, because we still have some after effects of the Vietnam War, whereas dark skin defects and a lot of bombs, unexploded bombs still there. So every day, every month, there's a lot of war-related accidents happening across the countries. So that's one reason. The other reason is we are a very fast-growing country. Population is increasing where infrastructure is not developing fast enough. Every day there's a lot of traffic accidents happening. So it's also increased the population of amputees every day. And lastly is the fact that we're still industrial manufacturer economy. So it increased the risk of industrial accidents. So when you have some accident or you become an amputee, then they instantly think about selling lottery ticket as a job option. So we also partner with many other organizations to offer more employment opportunities for people and to show that, hey, there's many other options in the market. You don't have to go on sell lottery ticket if you lose an arm.
Vietnam has many problems, such as a lack of social support for people with disabilities. Ha also says that there are many hurdles in the development of the prosthetic arm.
Making it in developing countries or in Vietnam is even more difficult, where, to be fair, it's not famous for technology innovation yet. And we're right next to also China, where everything can be made or copied very fast. So that's why many startups in Vietnam are afraid to have hardware business model. They're afraid that after years of development, then your design or your creativity will just get copied or taken away very easily. That's also our worry, but we don't take it as a reason why we should not developing this one, because no one's doing it. There's a problem and no one's doing it because everyone's afraid. So we should be the one to do it.
Funding is the most difficult part in starting a business in Vietnam. Therefore, it has become increasingly popular for startups to participate in pitch competitions around the world to earn prize money. Ha's company won many competitions and managed to get their own studio.
I want to change the fact that there is very few female tech leader in business and also in Vietnam in tech sense. I want to change that. I want to be one of the first female entrepreneurs that represent technology in startups. I believe that If you deeply care about something, you always find a way to make it happen. And that's what I'm doing right now, stretching myself, stretching the limitations of the technology, pushing the limitation of, what's possible and what's, achievable.
Ha's next goal is to create a prosthetic arm that can fulfill the needs of each and every disability.
We also talked to a lot of female amputees, and we realized that actually for women there is a very challenge in daily use, especially if you have a baby. So we're thinking about developing a module for looking after the baby, because right now if you were one-arm mom, it's really hard for you to hold the baby. So we want to have like a kind of baby holding arm.
In April, Ha's company collaborated with students from RMIT University in Vietnam. Students developed a prosthetic arm module that could help amputees carry out specific tasks.
So the student need to, talk to different users and, do a lot of research to figure out what kind of daily task that require two hands. But an amputee cannot perform yet. And dishwashing is actually a very practical challenge. It actually comes at least 2 or 3 times a day. The students feel like what they do in their university is actually create values to the society.
Ha's company also partnered with one of the largest coffee chains in Vietnam and started a project that will provide job opportunities to 30 amputees by the end of the year. Dua, who had lost one of his arms when he was 6 months old, is now a member of the team developing the prosthetic arm at Ha's company. At the coffee shop, he will wear the waiter module to test and see if he can bring coffee to the customers and clean the table properly. This prosthetic arm will give confidence to disabled people. I think it will expand the possibilities in our everyday life.
We believe that amputees actually are potential people. They can work and earn income as well as many other individuals in the society. We don't want to create that kind of charity perception for our user when they use our product. It's not that we give them the product. We want our user to feel that they have the buy-in power. They can buy a piece of technology that they want to use for themselves. We think this is the time, where we can, innovate technology from Vietnam and show to everyone into the world that, hey, we actually can innovate from here. We want to see people with disability in different light. We don't see them as someone that's less capable than us. Every individual in the world has their own strengths and weaknesses. And we believe that amputees or people with disabilities are the ones that will lead us into the next age of human body enhancement. They are the ones that will help us, see how human body can, enhance with the technology. I want to empower everyone around me to live the life that they want, to live the dreams that they want to pursue. I want to empower amputees to, still embrace their dreams after all the challenges, after all the accidents that happen to their life. Normally, many people thought that when they lost an arm, they lost their dreams, or they have to give up on what they want to do in their life. They have to stop with their current job or something. We don't want that. We want people to keep embracing their dreams. What we want people to do is to just embrace themselves, be who they are, and just, we have technology. Whatever they want to do in their life, we can do that with the support of technology.